Okay. You need to move the contours. In this case, yeah, you might not have enough room here. So these contours also have to be moved. The best solution for you might be having a wall over here around it. Yeah, I can see how you won't be able to, no, even if we have contours going around that, no. Okay, so I might have mentioned that you need something in this area to treat water before it gets to here. But given these contours are no, they still have to be moved. You don't even have enough room for those. So it might not be feasible to put something over here. So that means let's make this one bigger. Okay, you still have some room over here, so make it bigger. You actually have quite a bit of room. So make it elongated. So even, yeah, let's maybe do 2 entrances. You know, you can split them somewhere here and there and there. So that one would be one of that, and then second one, and then this one can be big. Okay. It will be beneficial. So you already have this one there, right? Are you going to have one of these there? That's some water. You know, we can treat as much as this area. So it's worth doing it. And then you can put one more here. And that one would treat all this. Okay, so that's worth doing. So that one, and then once you get down to here, it becomes this big. Can you see this? If you had room over here, I would say put something here. But if this is not green, then that's the first one you would have. Okay. All right. So that's about the retention there. Do I trim curb? Yes, you need to trim curb. You do not have this little thing, just that portion. Okay. And to find the side slope of this ramps, do I use the change in the elevation of the TC and the BR to find that slope? Do you mean this one? For this one, actually, you do not need to calculate the side slope. You just, yeah, calculate that one, okay? This is a big ramp. There's no reason for this to exceed the flare to exceed their slope parameters. Okay. And then
And the max that slope could be is 8%, right?
yes,
Okay.
8.33. And you won't. No, this one would be pretty gentle. Do we calculate all from the contours? The top of the stairs and the bottom stairs, yes. Okay. Those contours are the ones on the plaza. Based on this, you calculate that and that. Okay. Based on this slope, this will be the same as this. Okay. Those are the same along this line. Right. Okay. So that's the stairs. Do I calculate this TW and BW from the contours? And so which ones? Here, let's see. 1106, 1105 points, those are reasonable. you first need to calculate what this is. Okay, this is going to be about 1095.8. No, could be 1095.8. You need to find out where 96 is, and that's a contour. Okay, that's your 96 contour. But that needs to, you need to measure it out. And then you would have a 96 contour somewhere here. Does that make sense? So the 96 contour, you might be able to basically connect it through. So you don't need a wall to extend it over. Does that make sense? So your wall can stop before it, right? And this bottom of wall is essentially determined by the part that by the back plaza. Yeah. So that's that. So we're missing a contour here. Okay. And yeah, and then you find out where your 5 is. I think you might, these two, both of them are dark and thick, and there might be something wrong there. Okay. So I'm taking not, yes. Fix these labeling. I think those are not correct. 098. We still need to do the side slope. Okay. Side slope. Okay. So yeah, for this wall, it's quite straightforward. Because it's connected to the plaza, it should be determined by the plaza. Okay.
Did we find the BW first and then we just add 4 for the GW?
Yes, you could. Yeah. Yeah, or you could say, I don't want this wall to be high, then you need to step it. If this is 96, then what you need to have 2 segments of the wall, right? Yeah, anyways. These contours are okay for water drainage. Yeah, because it's essentially a ridge there. You do need to put a drop inlet somewhere here. Okay, because there's a tendency for water to come down here. All right, so before this water hits the ramp, you want it to have a DI there. Yeah, you just need a DI, and then oh, sorry. Yeah, you just need a DI there. That's fine. Okay. All right, we'll keep moving. Here, do I use the 106 contour to find this one? What's that one? That's you mean the plot, yeah, the top of the curb here would be determined by your 106 contour. Okay. The TRs are both determined by the 106 contour. The doesn't come up for the 1105. I'm not sure what that means.
When I was trying to find that elevation, I snapped all of them to the 1105 contour. And the perpendicular command came up, but it won't come up for that one. So do I extend the 105 line?
Yes, you extend the 105 line. Extend here. Yeah. And then measure this.
Okay.
Measure that. It's the same thing as if you measure to the 106 here. Yeah, same thing. All right. Okay. Anything else? Okay, good. I'll move to Evelyn here. Yeah, go ahead.
So first is I worked those contours, so on the lower plaza, so I just wanted to make sure those were
These ones?
correct.
All right.
One.
These ones. Okay. So top FFE 1088.5. Cool. And then we have 98.5. Good. Here is 98. And then 97, 97, 98 goes down here. Good. And the wall stops right there. Good. And your 907 comes all the way through. Great. I think that works. Yeah, I don't see any other contours conflicting here. That's good news. The thing that you sort of missed is that you need to have retention down here. So you still have room. You still have room. So you would have something in the middle here. Okay. Maybe not just 5 feet, 6 feet deep, wide. You still have some room here, so you can keep moving these. Right? Keep moving these to make some room for the retention. Okay. Yeah. So that's that. But the contours, this area looks great. I would do a little bit. Oh, okay. I don't see the. Okay, you enlarge that for a little bit, and you need a wall here as well, right? So that needs to be a wall too. Yeah, your wall basically turned. And then that means I would make these more evenly distributed.
Okay.
So I would not have, let's see. Yeah, that's okay too. Yeah, a little bit of turning here, that's okay. And then I would make these a little bit more evenly distributed. And this is a little bit of swell here. So I would basically just keep going. And then like this. Okay. I do not want this to have a little bit of swell there. Okay. And these are good. Try to hit the wall, this area being a little bit more evenly. And then once you get down to here, you might want this to come out a little bit. You want this water to come out from this corner, right? So actually, well, let me make it more pronounced. So basically this one will turn somewhere here. I'm not doing it very well here. Let me try to move it. So like this. That makes sense? So it will come out of the corner. And the rest of them is all right. Rest of them, I would try to do something to say similar, right? Hit the wall. Yeah, so those need to be, having a side slope as well. And that's how you, okay. Give me a second. I think we are missing a little bit of wall over here as well. The 102, you need a wall over here. And then also, let me count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so those are good, but the wall needs to be extended. Not as high as 3, but between 3 and 2 here. Okay. Then all these you need spots. Okay. B wall and T wall spots. Yeah, yeah. Cool. So that's the ramp. Other things.
Is the upper plaza entrance, did I do it correctly before it goes into the building?
Yeah, yeah, it works.
Okay.
That works.
I added in more bioretention.
I would make your contour label bigger. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I added.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good. This is good. It's good. That needs to be, the curb cut needs to be here, right? Because that's the lowest point in this area. That needs to be. So I think you'll just need to add a bunch of CCs, just to clarify where the curb cuts are. Okay. Is this your ADA spot? Yeah, okay. I probably would put it here. Because this is lower, right? There's a possibility that there's a lot of water here. Just in case of error, right? In case of construction error, in case of decay. This is a higher area, so there's a lot less risk for it to be flooded. Yeah. So that one goes here. Let's see. You could actually have something here. You do have a little bit of room, not a lot, but still some room. Because again, these can be moved, right? And those can be tightened up. So you have a little bit of room here to fit that in. That's good. This is good. That is good. And then on this side, you have all these. Those are good. Good. Let me try to move down. See. You need one more here, here. Yeah, your retention seems to be in the right place.
Just one last thing, on my, like 104 draft,
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan said that like my spot elevations on the entrance were, like not lining up with the road and the contours, but I'm not sure.
Oh, here? You mean
Yeah.
here?
But I'm not sure like why he said that exactly.
Okay, let's
So I
see.
was just wondering if this is complete.
So your entry road, this is the 13. Yeah. I think your 13 and a 12 are too close. So this is the 13 contour, right? Yeah, your 13 contour stays here and your 11 it's here. I would do the 12 right in the middle somewhere.
Okay.
I would do the middle kind of 12 being sort of a transition, right? This is a transition. And then your 12 basically would just be like this. Like this. And then your 11 would be the same as how you did before.
Okay.
Okay, so I would just move 12. And then your 13 is here, you would stop you can start your curve somewhere here, but on this side, you need to start it over here.
Okay.
Otherwise, you could do not connecting to this, but do something like this to the 13. Does that make sense? So your curve can start here, but then you need to modify this portion of the 13. And on this side, we'll just keep going. All right? Okay. Okay, anything? Sure. Oh, okay. We will do that. Okay. Has this retention been done correctly? Let's see. You have a circle. This is the 7 and 6.2. LP, RDI. These are good so far. And then you have a 1106 contour inside. These are the 6 contour. I would include a lot more label, okay? 7, 6, 5. Contour labels. And then basically this is all 1106. I think yeah, it works.
So, like, if I have a curve around the outside and then access the high point, how would I label that?
You basically put it here, right? TC/HP.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, because the whole thing doesn't, once we come down to here, you are below 1106, I believe. Oh, maybe my contour number is it's wrong. Yeah, that's why. So this is the 7 and that is 6. Yeah, everything, all the curb is higher than 1106. Is that right? Yeah, this is 6.5. Yeah, this is 6.5 and that is not below 5.5. So everything is above 1106.00. So you would just need to calculate the TC based on the original TC, and the HP will be just that TC.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is working. I do. Okay, so your entrance is pretty high. That means we're not accepting as much water as if we put it down. But at the same time, if you put it down, this will be deeper. Well, your design works. It's just like if you want to receive more, you can put the curb cut lower. But that's not like a required change. Okay, so that's that one. Next one, does it make sense to have 2 DIs here? Let's see. We have you do not need 2 DIs, you just need one of them. And the RDIs would be the same elevation, so just one of them. Yeah, just one of them. But we are missing something over here. Okay, the lowest point here, we're missing a retention over in this area. Because this is the lowest point, right? Next one, how have these been done correctly? So we have that. Do the elevations make sense? Again, I need to see the contour number, right? The first thing that you want to do, once we get off here, make sure you label them. This is the 9, I think. So nine. One thing that I noticed is that you do not put spot elevations right where the integer contours are, because they're not tangent points, right? Most likely they're not. No, instead, things like here, that's the ridge, right? That needs a spot. That one, not this one, not that one, okay? So remove all these, because you don't really need another spot along a straight line, okay? Well, along the straight line, you just need this one and that one, okay? You do not need wherever the contours hit the curb.
So I'm just looking at the parking lot and do the
Yes. So all these ones, with the 0.00 and 0.50, they're not needed unless they happen to be exactly at a place where, for instance, the tangents, for instance, where the slope changes and material changes. Okay. So come back to this. Curb cuts, CC 1108. That works. LP, RDI. Those work. And then I need to know the contour number. You have 1107 here. You don't have a 107. You have a 108. Right? This contour number is wrong. It needs to be 108. Yeah. 108. And then you have HP. Yeah. These work. But I am a little confused. So your HP needs to be, between your contour and the lower contour. So that doesn't need to be there because this is the 9, right? 9 is higher than 8. So HP not necessary in this direction, but this direction, yes.
Would it be the same for the one on the other side of the parking lot too? Because I did the.
Yes. Yeah. The HP is only between the same contour,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. That's that one. How do I show these curb cuts? With the connect. Oh, okay. So this is actually going through a trench drain, right? You have a trench drain down here, and then you have a curb cut, and then you need to have the T, the bottom of the trench drain here, calculated, and that is the water height. And remember, this needs to be 0.5 lower because you need to account for the trenching height. That make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one, put in the trenching and then label BTD. And then we would be able to know if the LPs and RDIs are correct.
Okay.
Yeah, does seem like they are, let's see, I think they're 0.5 higher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With that in mind, they should be.
yes, yep. Push, calculate this based on this, but you need to push it down by 0.5 to get to the BTD. And the BTD should be higher than the RDI. And then you determine the LP, okay? Yeah, so this is pretty deep. It's pretty deep, so I doubt that you would have to, let's see, you won't have a 108 contour there. I think it's probably in the 107 contour. Okay. Because your LP would be lower, right? Your
Oh,
LP will be
right.
lower. Yeah. Okay. So contours look weird in this area. Yeah. Did we talk about you actually don't need the wall here? You have enough space.
So I wrote this under the impression that Stuart was going to be looking at it. I wanted a second opinion on the things that you told me last week.
Okay.
So,
Well, you can ask him again,
Okay.
but I really don't think you need the wall.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can see that, you would essentially be connecting these contours again from the wall, right? So the 110, this is a closed contour. No, we'll close for a little bit and then start over from here, right? That is the 07, okay? The 07 essentially, it's this one. So you are connecting to the right contour. The lack of contour means this is very flat and it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, this, the concept of divergent swell does not come out yet, right? We do not want this water, any of the water in this area to get into a retention. So the idea is actually going like this. Does that make sense?
so it used to be like extended the swell almost.
Yes,
Okay.
your swell needs to come up like that. And then the water from the slope here would go this way, would not come into your retention here. Yeah, so this area you definitely have enough space. You can ask Stuart again if to see if he has a different option. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. Yeah, we talked about the ramp here. Yeah, I think this was the same question before, right?
Yeah, I just fixed it because you told
Okay.
me. And then I think that's all of them, but like a general question is, how are my line weights looking? Are they better or better than?
They are better, but can you see your contours are still too light? Yeah, your contours are still too light. I would make, and then use the right line type for the swell here and the ridge line.
Okay.
Yeah. And your existing contour needs to be dashed. Yeah, you can enlarge your contour label a bit more so that it kind of stands out from the spot elevations and it will be very easy to see. The vegetation needs to be thinner. Vegetation is not very important information. So put it down in the hierarchy. Yeah. And put the parking paving, no, actually the painting very light, okay, thin and light. Yeah, it could even be gray, these doesn't need to stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but definitely improve from last time. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Alrighty, no problem. I received another one, I think. Here.
Can you pull up the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I think I have a trouble with, contour one, like 15 contour.
This one?
The one by the bus drop off,
Okay.
because I offsetted the, contour by the upper plaza and,
Oh, 1105?
yeah. that
Okay.
one. I'm not sure how to. do that,
Yeah.
Like the one in the bus drop.
Yes, something was off. Okay. I can see. This actually goes here. Then it's correct. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
And this one is to go sort of, well, you can actually extend it and then hit the wall here. Okay, it needs to hit the wall. Yeah, that's the correct one. And you have one more here. Okay, the 15 needs to come, 05 needs to come out here and connect there. Okay? Yeah, that's the 105.
And, also the same contour, but like up by the parking lot. Cause I put
Same contour, 105 by the parking lot here.
so I
Um,
put the fire retention there.
mhm,
I'm not sure how. It's like go around.
okay. First, what's the distance like from here to there? Is it over 25? Yeah,
It's 25.
it is exactly 25. If it's exactly 25, then you have two. One is the small closed contour, sorry. So basically you would have, a closed contour here. And then another one coming, in fact, you close it and then it would actually be running along the other side of the curb and then needs to come down to whenever the 5. So if we offset from this, it might be somewhere here. So it could go like this. Does that make sense?
The lines go over the swale, the fire retention.
Yeah, it goes along the face of the curb on the back of the, yeah, yeah,
That's like like that for the fire.
right,
That's the
right.
105.
Yeah, that's the 105. And because of that, you need to close this one. Okay, you need to keep this portion of 5 here. So that's a different 5. So basically you have 3 portion of 5s. Okay,
Alright, and the contours by the building to the right. That just like connect.
yeah, the 104 needs to be here. And then I see you have a retention here, so we would change the shape of the 5 here to like this. Okay, and then you can fit in your retention over here. Yeah. Yeah, let me make it more clear by just erasing this one. So that's your 5.
And, the contours above, parking lot, it's okay.
Contours above the parking lot. Yeah,
I wanna make sure again if like my swale by the upper plaza, it's okay, the slope, because I have like 1% slope. And
oh, this is okay, because you have, you just need to make sure this is 2%. So the slope arrow here, this one is not correct. The slope needs to be like this, perpendicular to your contour. Okay, that one is correct. This is 1.34, that's okay, because your side slope is 2. It will drain. All right, okay.
By the lower plaza,
Mm-hmm.
do you think I like name it correctly? Like I put a trench drain?
Yeah, that works.
I think I plan to put like a texture in there, so like
Mm-hmm.
put that in the legend and then planting area.
Yeah.
And also like I kind of like changed the ramp a little bit to make it
Yeah.
make sense, because
Mhm.
I tried to like calculate the slope, and then which is like I have like a problem with it. So I talked to Stuart about it,
Mhm.
about how to get the slope based on what I have so far.
Okay.
And he said like to subtract top ramp and the bottom ramp and
Mhm.
divide by 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and I got like a number, but like I don't know what to do with that number. Is that like,
Divide by 2.
so like
Is it divide by 20 feet?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
but
So,
Okay.
here, top of the ramp makes sense, right? This is about 1105.01. And then the bottom ramp, let's see. So that works, and 97, 96. So your BR is still not correct, okay? Your BR should be lower than this. So this would be kind of close to 1096.7 something. Maybe it's just off by 1 foot. It needs to be calculated based on this slope, right? You're at 1097 here, and then should be 1096 point something. Yeah, once you have this and that, you would divide, find out the difference. Let's suppose this is 1096.5. Just make it easier to estimate. And this is 1105, right? So you have about 0.5 and 8.5 in elevation difference, right? And then you multiply by 20, you would know if the length is it's enough. Does that make sense? If you because every foot of elevation difference, you need 20 feet to go to come across that elevation. So this is the minimal length that you need to have, which is about 170 feet, right? And then if you make sure that you have enough length, you would start actually from here, measure 20, because this is very close to 1105, right? Measure 20 to find your 4, and then keep going, finding your next contours. And from this point, from this part on, you would look for the next 1097 contour here. This will be like half a length, right? 10 feet, right? 10 feet, and then you go 20, and then you go 20, and then you go 20. And then you see what happens in the middle, somewhere here, right? And then you calculate whether or not it goes below 2%. If that one goes to below 2%, then you would make a little bit of adjustment in other areas to make that area 2% at least, right? 2% at least. And which means you might have, for instance, the end of the ramp being less than 5.
Oh,
So it's an iterative process. You might need to just try some contours out, and then make sure things match in the middle. Yeah.
and
Okay.
add on to that for the ramp. The contours, if I connect the contours, like I know it's really close, the contour is really, like the ramp is really close to
Right.
the street.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if there's like, I don't know what it's gonna look like yet, because I haven't like calculating the
Mm-hmm.
distance. So, how, like, can I put the contours by the road, like, end of the contours, or?
So you might run out of space here, and then you can do what Evelyn did, you know, having a wall here. Okay, having a wall over here. So some of these contours can basically just attach to the wall, right? And then once we get down to 109, this is 1096. Yeah, I can see you might be running out of space here quite a bit. Because your 1090 is here. And we need to get to 1095 somewhere here. So yeah, you probably need a pretty long wall over here.
So I connect the contour.
Yeah, these contours will just hit the wall. And then once you get down to 92, maybe you can come back to 92 somewhere here. I would make this skinnier. Okay, because we're at 9, we're at 96 somewhere here. We're probably at 96 somewhere here. And then can you see 96 is really close to 90? I might need to tighten this up even a little bit. And then to see if I can get to 96 here.
Oh.
Yeah. And then these contours really might need to they need to be lower down, and some of them, let's see, 93 might be able to go through 95 for definitely everything above 96 will hit the wall. Yeah, I would again, this is not like one direction. You come from, I would probably come to even this contour. Well, let's now shrink this to 6 feet, okay? 6 feet and 10 feet, and then offset it up 4 feet. So if this is 6, and that needs to be 5, okay? This is, the next one would be 5, offsetting from the contour of the bioretention. And then you see if 90 probably comes down to this, this location. And then you offset these, then you know which one will hit the wall.
Oh.
Yeah. I think you should be able to do it because we have quite a bit of room. The slope here is not so steep. Okay,
And this is the last question.
okay.
By the parking lot, I don't think I have time to like do the.
This one?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
So-
okay.
that's like, this is a walkway, I just live a walkway.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
So, thank you.
Okay. Sounds good. Did I receive anything else? All right,
I just said.
okay.
So I had my like second review today, which
Mhm.
is like what those red questions were.
Okay.
But I was curious if you could go over how to fix some of the stuff that was left in my comments for EX4.
Can you read it out to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's taking longer. So I was still confused on like my FFEs.
Okay.
I recalculated them since last time.
Yeah.
But I still like wasn't sure how to know which spot elevation like define the top FFE.
The highest. Well, not the highest, but the highest that you labeled here.
Mhm.
So if you have 0.40 here, that's you can totally be 7.40.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is fine.
Okay.
All right. You can be higher if you want to enter from here, but this is a more central location, so it makes sense to enter from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that kind of tied into my stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So like the bottom or the top of stairs like reaches like that 107 point, or I guess it's at 106.7. I didn't
Right.
know if that was too low.
I think, oh, this is backwards. This was calculated backwards because this is your 107 contour, right? You're basically measuring the distance from here to that contour. So this should be above 07. It would be 7.3.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then does that, so my bottom upstairs is kind of low compared to the,
Yes, it needs to be higher. You need to calculate based on this, and this is 2% above that, right? And then this will be 2% above this. So this will be higher. Yeah. So basically you just assume this is 2% all the way down. Okay.
it says I need intermediate spots on my ramp. Is that just like at the top and the bottom of it?
Oh yeah. You need the here.
Okay.
Those are
Also.
turning. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It says that I would need to label my slope at the roadway connections. I was kind of confused as to like where I place that and if that would still be a 2.5. Like my whole parking lot is 2.5, so I wasn't sure. I like threw an arrow in there for like the time being that just says 2.5. I wasn't.
Roadway connection. So this was originally there, right? But not here.
Right.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure if like I needed like that 2.5 arrow or if it was like something else I was missing. But it said like entry drive, label slope at roadway connection.
I'm not convinced that's necessary because you're not at a uniform slope. And it doesn't seem like you're exceeding, you're not exceeding. This is not 2.5 for sure.
Right.
Yeah, but you're not exceeding like 10% or 14% max. You have that here. But I would look out for this area.
Okay.
Yeah, this does seem like it's in the danger of exceeding that. So I would put in something here. You could calculate this one as well. So you would not be deducted if you have more. No, unless you label it wrong.
Right.
For instance, for both of these two, you would label max, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I would just add those two in the right direction and then make sure that they are not exceeding 13. There's a possibility that this one it's kind of borderline exceeding 13 there. Okay. Yeah.
And then two other comments I was kind of, all right, there's a few more, but I got two that said my label contours should be on the high side. And I think some all.
It's okay. In this, that's okay. Yeah.
And I got landscape contours.
But I would do, so if you read this, I would turn this 180 degree.
Okay.
Because you sort of turn your head in the right in one direction, right?
Okay.
So it's like not here and there, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I got landscape contours to all be rounded.
Yes, that's correct.
Where would that be like wherever it like? I guess when it goes from like the park.
So this is okay. And landscape contours be rounded. There are some conflicting contours here that you would need to fix.
Would that
Yeah.
just go around retention?
Yes, it will go around the retention. Once you fix the contour here, then you wouldn't have the problem of this being too flat. okay? So that's solved once you correct that contour. I don't see other contours being out of shape.
This stuff is in between the
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't have to be, honestly. Yeah, it's this area, it's all right because it's also a design landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's it's necessary to change all of them to a curved. Okay.
And then I have corner spots at both buildings show water draining from contour towards building. And I was curious.
Yeah. So this one should be above 06, right? Oh, these are okay. 1097.40. Those are all right. This is okay. I'm not exactly sure what he's referring to though in this. This one needs to be fixed, but otherwise these are okay.
I didn't know if I like needed to turn them more or if it was okay over.
That's the only spot that's wrong at this point. All right.
And then last one was my north wall. It says my bottom of wall conflicts with contours. And I was curious, I didn't know if it was that one or the one on top, but I wasn't sure how to figure out how to fix that one.
Bottom of the wall here is at exactly 107. It might not be at exactly 107 though. See, that's how you hit the wall, right?
Mhm.
So this will be above. You only need one plus sign, okay?
Okay.
And then that needs to be a tiny little bit above 107 there.
Mhm.
And here you need to mark your 197 contour. And the bottom wall seems correct, 1096.90. But it does conflict with this contour though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, honestly, the 1097, it's pretty close here. This contour,
Mhm.
because this is 96.9.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Or this is 96 point, yeah, if this calculation is correct, then these contours needs to be moved.
Okay.
Yeah, you could make the middle a little bit flatter. Yeah. All right.
I think that was it. Another thing that they mentioned, I was missing a few curb cuts and drain inlets.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I probably added a lot more since the actual. I
Sure.
don't know if there were any that like were like basic, like you need to have one here. Just missing.
Yeah. So here, just want to mention, this contour conflict with your wall as well. So those will be fixed later. Okay. So they mentioned curb cuts and everything. Let's see. That needs to be a DI, yes. And this needs to be yeah, that's a bottom of train train, that's correct. This is a train train going down there. This one is a DI. Curb cut, you have an RDI, cool, yeah. That works. One of those two. So CC, CC. And this one, CC, good. This is a good location because you can see water. You don't need to make the curb turn, so that's good. This is receiving very little water, so I wouldn't have that one there. Yeah, because it's essentially all flowing out, right? So that's not necessary. That one, that one, that one. Okay. This one, this one, this one. And if that one doesn't, yeah, it will keep flowing, so that's okay. All right, and let's see, on this side, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. I think you have, yeah, you have enough.
Okay.
Alrighty, great.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. So we're about to start the right session. Let me quickly download everything here. So this is where I start. Okay. And then Morgan, this one. Yes. Okay, give me a second. I'll go grab a drink.
Everything's in Photoshop. So you can see around. And this is not done, it's like, I don't know why we didn't switch it. Well, this is one thing, it's like, yeah. Oh, does it, yeah, like so for. No, like. The whole thing. Anyways, but yeah, we do many. And then I kind of like also really nice to use the trees. Did you trace like the metal thing? Yeah. Yeah. It was like just brushing. And then these are just like boring. It's cool. Just flat. And I also hate color phones. Like it looks so much better in those.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah. Look at her. Yeah. No, I'm regretting not doing. I wish I could have done more. Yeah, I'm doing it on my laptop, but no, I like it like no, I'm doing it with like my channel on my laptop, but I wish I just would have done it on paper. Because I tried that for the last project. For the last project, I tried to like. Wait, which version? This one? Nobody is screaming on the input. I can hear that. I wanna dance.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get started. Where else do I need slope arrows? I felt like I need my microphone. Oh, we're okay now. Okay. Slope arrow. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here.
For that landing in between the stairs, it's only like a 4% slope. So I didn't put an arrow because it's not like technically the ramp.
The landing here.
By the building.
By the building right here.
Yeah.
So the first thing, the line weight of the arrows definitely need help, right? The slope arrows, you basically would sort of categorize it along with the spot elevations, right?
Okay.
So not, so right now, if you step back, the thing that pop up is actually the slope arrows. Yeah. And then the center line, I'm trying to read this portion here. Is this a contour here?
Yeah.
If that's the case, I don't think the 105 is in the right place. The reason is, yeah, I know sometimes you are in stores, sometimes you submit early and then you get reviewed in a different group. So this is unfamiliar to me, this area. But I think the contour is wrong because your swell is here, right? And this area you cannot drain the parking lot this direction.
Well, the parking lot is getting drained through that trench drain. And then the high point is draining into the what's it called? The that little garden area there.
So your building needs to be high. So this needs to be draining this direction. Okay, we cannot drain toward the wall here. Does that make sense? We're draining toward, well, even if we can drain toward here, once we get beyond the swell line, it needs to drain this way.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise your building will be in trouble, right? So we need to turn one of the contours this way. Okay. So that's your 5. And then if you know, for instance, if this was the original 6, your 6 is going this way, which is correct. That's correct. But we cannot have, you know, once we get beyond the swell line, that direction needs to be kept for positive drainage. So your 1105 needs to turn. Yeah. So basically this,
So the way I have it right now with by how it is, it's draining towards that bioretention between the stairs and the ramp.
yeah, yes, this, your retention here is still receiving the swell, right?
So
But-
why doesn't that work?
This contour doesn't work because it drains water to your building. So
But that water, that would be like the line you just drew there, that would get intercepted by that bioretention.
this is your swell line, right?
Yeah.
Once we get through your swell, on the other side of the swell line, it needs to drain this direction. So this needs to be turned.
Oh,
1105 contour needs to turn Otherwise, you're draining to your building here. Does that make sense?
Like along the stairs, you mean?
Right.
Oh,
You'll be draining to your corner and then it will drain to your stairs. You want it to turn and drain down here. This is your swell line, right? You need to keep the swell line by turning the 1109 1105 contour once it's, so that's your 1105.
So in the like edits I got,
Mm-hmm.
You guys said to like stop the swell line at like that pavement point.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. This is for illustration. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So here you would have positive drainage to your swell line. All right. So this area needs to be graded so it drains to the swell instead of keep draining to your stair. Okay. Yeah.
Interrupt, but Emma can't get into your breakout room. with
Sure.
anything, but thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that is, and well, when I look at that swell line, honestly, I'm still not really happy about how close this to the building. I might just turn it a little bit more to the other side. You know, we can, once we get up to the, I'm looking for your high point of swell here. I might turn it away a little bit more, meaning that you wouldn't have a 105 contour here, which is totally fine. Okay. If we are, turning it away a bit more, you offset by 50, your 105 might be here. And then that 105, I know it will conflict with this retention, but I want you to see it where it might be. And then we will eventually wrap this around your retention here. Okay. So your, this needs to hit the wall somewhere here. But still, this will keep this area draining to your swell. Okay. And then now we know if this whole thing is paved, 1104, 105 would be here. I would wrap it around. So my 5, oh, your 5 was here, which was not right because there's no curb at all, right? There's no curb. So this is your 6 and your 5 cannot be here.
So I talked to Stuart about this. So there is like that's pavement.
Mm-hmm.
So like that is a curb, like it drop, like there's no curb between the top of the pavement, but there's like a drop off before it hits the landscape.
Then you need to illustrate this as a wall.
Okay.
Yeah. You need to illustrate as a wall. But honestly, I don't see the reason to do that. You don't have to drop that deep. You can just basically wrap this around. That's your 5.
Okay.
And then you do need to move this down. The 4 will be down, right? But for sure, I told this is not right. Okay, that you cannot drain that direction to your building. My personal opinion, I don't think that wall is necessary there, right? If you can have your swell kind of gently flow down, creating a wall, you would create a fall. Create a fall, then you would have to deal with the force of the water for it to drop down, okay? If you would like to keep this one, your 5 is over here anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So your 5 would not be there anymore. So that would not be a curve. All right. So, let's go back to your original questions. I know I derailed the conversation there. You were asking the slope arrows. So then, one thing that will be added would be slope arrow here, right? You have the ridge line, but the ridge line is not that important. Is the pavement on the plaza. No, this should be the direction of how it's sloped, and you have that here, so that one is good, and one more here. Okay, so those are cover the plaza. And then you need a slope arrow here. I know it's not entirely uniform, but label maximum would just be enough here. We want to make sure that it doesn't exceed 25, and that's, so when we are concerned, it's not apparent from the construction drawing if something is over limit, then we need to label it. So all these look fine, that look fine, this look fine. Slope here, yes. We set add that one. And add one more here. I know this is not, well, honestly, for this ridge, I would curve it. This is a pretty big green landscape. You know, we probably don't want it to be sort of a sculptural type of green space. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Make it curved. Then you don't necessarily need to label it. And oh, okay. So your center line is 2, but the other direction is 2.4. Okay. All right, those are the slope arrows. I think it will be beneficial to add one more here. Okay. If there are so much water draining to your roadway, I think it's worth doing one more retention in that area. Yeah, no, you can see there are kind of water draining to the curb here. Okay, so that's that one. Let's move down. Parking lot ramp, correct? This one is coming up and then going down. Yeah, that works. That works. Honestly, this one, you could use a traditional one because, you know, this is a wall here. This eventually will be a wall here. If you think about, if you think about the appearance of the ramp here, you might not want to sort of have something as a sort of barrier right in here. So this type of ramp would also work in this situation. I'm not asking you to change at this point, right? I understand you have a lot of obligations, but I'm just suggesting the more traditional type might be more appropriate in this location because you're not blocking flows from this side.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. And you asked the ramp question being, do I need ramps for, okay, let's take a quick look at these ramps. You need one here as well, okay? You need one here. This one is from that area, and the bottom of the curb determined by that, okay? These two will be at 2 different elevations. So I'm a little unsure which one is labeled which one, because you marked, you know, you have this one.
At the same elevation, and then like so that the slope was going like perpendicular. Instead of going like at the angle, because I thought it would get caught on the curve.
So there's always going to be all kinds of, you know, the surface, it not necessarily have only one slope, right? It's like when you have a walkway, you can label this slope longitudinal and you can label that slope, right? So to grade this ramp, I think you wouldn't necessarily change the elevation here because this whole thing is part of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Right? So those two will be different slope. It just means the ramp here is a little swap, a little warped surface. So that one would be determined by will be determined by the parking lot itself. Okay, and these two, these two and those two will be determined by your contours above the at the plaza level, right? You wouldn't have this line. Oh, remove that line. That's I think that's a leftover. Yeah, yes, yes, yeah, yeah. And then these two, this surface, you would do a 2% slope. Well, this is actually, there's no slope. Well, there is slope in this surface, but it's relatively flat, right? This is a relatively flat. It only needs 2% slope there. Yeah, the 2% slope, you're correct. It needs to go out to that direction. So basically you calculate by 2%. So this elevation and that elevation will be slightly different as well, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's all the spot you need. Okay. All right. That's the ramp there.
So do I need one for the drop off?
Yeah, you need one here. Yeah, you need one here.
With the par one there too?
I don't think so.
No.
No. Yeah, this one. There won't be any car here, right? So everybody will be able to use it. Yeah, I don't think you need one more here. Okay, so one more here, that's all you need. And swales. You have an HP. I would try to make them a little bit more evenly. Sort of uniform slope swell, at least for the portion up until you get to here. You don't need a swell keep going anymore at this point. Once you get down to here, you can basically do more like this. No sheet flow. I think this one would be the last one you need. Okay, so if these are not evenly kind of spaced, you actually need a lot more spots in the middle. So it's actually easier if you make them relatively uniform. Okay, yeah. All right. Divergent swell look good.
Is it okay that, well, since I don't have to make the rest of the diversion swale, like I can stop the diversion swale at that ramp
Yes.
point?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
okay that
it's
like a
okay.
little bendy.
Little bandy
See
meaning,
how it has like a curve to it?
for this portion, I would try just to merge with the ramp contour like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, you can put in one additional retention at the end to receive the divergent swell water,
Okay.
but it won't keep falling down. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the swell would not keep going downhill.
Okay.
You it doesn't need to. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, this swell ends here. Once we move the contour, I don't see a swell line here anymore, but the contour pattern actually indicates this
Can we get
portion.
another
Yeah.
swale at that second half of the pavement?
You actually have a line here somewhere. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just a small segment of the swell there. Stairs noted correctly. Let me take a look at your stairs. Turrets, good. Those are good. Good. I would make the hierarchy lower. Okay, the stairs doesn't. Can you make
stairs
the?
can be lighter.
Yes, the building it's gray, and you can see the overlapping of these lines.
Yeah.
You can make the building just black. Okay. And let's see, top of stair, bottom stair, good. And then you need a slope. You do need a slope over here.
Even though it's less than a ramp.
This is a 2% kind of a
Okay.
landing area. Yeah. And bottom stairs, bottom wall and bottom stairs. Good. Those are good. The labeling works. Okay.
I just worry because it's so many labels in one space that
Yeah.
but it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. You could get rid of one of them and make a lead kind of a connecting line
Yeah.
between the two pluses, but make sure that these two pluses, make sure you distinguish this line with the other stairs lines. Okay, so that we know that's a leader line between the two. So you can use a short segment of the connecting line between the two pluses. So you don't have to have two. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, just need one TS, one BS for each flight. Okay. So, yeah, you can use one spot elevations. Walls, I have linear stairs acceptable. The walls, yeah, you can have a short wall.
Well, the thing is like the walls along the stairs are stacked. And
Yes, yeah, they are stacked. And for this exercise, we are not asking you to design every segment of the wall.
Okay.
Yeah. So for
I have,
instance,
like, a lot of spot elevations for the walls.
yeah.
So like notate that,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't really sure, like, I tried to put some extra lines in there to show the breaks, but they're not really showing up. And
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if there was a better way to do that.
We are, for this, we thought that would be too complicated for you guys at the end. So we were just saying, let's not worry about the different segments of the wall.
Mhm.
Now, for your wall, you would need spot elevations here, here, there. Well, if this is one segment,
Yeah,
then,
that's
yeah, then you would need something at the end, and that's all you need, okay?
okay.
That's all you need, and you do not need to distinguish, okay, this is one segment of the wall, and then that's the next one.
So
right.
I have all the spot elevations for the wall.
You have the B wall here. We need a T wall.
I have, if there are T walls right now.
T wall, you might wanna, well, you might wanna move this over to to the end. If your BW and your TS is the same, then you just add, okay, sorry. My bad. I didn't see that T wall over there. Yes, you do not need this one, okay? Do not need this one. You need that one and you need that one.
Okay.
All right, cool. So the next one is about graphic quality. I do suggest you talk to, if Johnson has time, just get a brief moment with him.
Yeah.
There are some issues with the graphic quality. The good thing is the contours pop up, so those are good. But the slope arrows and the let's see, sort of the stairs, right? The stairs, the slope arrows. I think your contour label can be a little bigger, and your curb line can be, curb line can be bolder. Yes.
And less. So like, I was going with like the advice that you guys had talked about, like making the objects more subtle.
Yes, that's correct.
And then like, at some point, I guess someone said, I probably misunderstood, that like the labels should be very easy to read. So that's why I had the slope arrows so dark.
Uh-huh.
But the slope arrows you're saying can be lighter.
Oh, but they definitely should not exceed your contours.
Okay.
Yeah, because those are labels. The contours are the most important things.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, and the center line as well. All right. And when you can combine these two, you can do the leader line thing, instead of having the HP overlap on your building. I think a better way would just be connecting them and put the HP, just one HP in the middle, right? Okay. Next thing, anywhere DI. Let's take a look. You need a DI over here. Yeah, that's good. And then RDI here, good. RDI.
I was
Well,
worried, like at that high point swale on the pavement, is that
Mhm.
going to DI?
Give me a moment. I think here is, you need something. There are a little bit of water that goes in between these that doesn't go anywhere. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, oh, okay. I see what you're doing. The line here, I would move it to find the tangent point over here. So it seems like this is the lowest point. Okay. In this case, the correct configuration is 2 curb cut, and then in the middle, there is a DI at the exact lowest point there. Does that make sense? So I would suggest for you to change.
Move the curb cut so it's at that lowest point.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Just having one of them. Yeah, having one of them. So this is one of the option. And for you, you just remove that one and keep one of these at the lowest point, and then you have an RDI. That works. Okay. Let's see. You need a CC over here, so that's good. Yeah, those are all the places you need the DIs. No DI on the plaza. Well, no, you have an RDI here, you have an RDI here, you have an RDI here, so you don't need a DI. You do have an RDI over here, so that's good. And then I'm not sure about these contours though. This keep flowing down, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
water keep flowing down here, so we need to fix that. It's pulling water to your wall. Yes.
I can make it go back up.
It needs to, yes, it needs to go back
and
up,
Extend that wall up the ramp so that.
right? But you need to make sure you have enough room. So these contours look good, right? The 101. Yeah, you're having it draining into the middle. So that is okay. But then once you get down here, make sure you have enough room. If not, then you might want to think about putting this down a little bit so you don't go down too much and then go up that much. Does that make sense? Yep. All right. I would add a side slope to your ramp. Okay, a 2% side slope. So well, in this case, it gets into, well, that direction is okay too. If it's that direction, then water goes out, right? Okay. And either way, you have room here to receive that water, but if you want to reduce a little bit of the ramp water, the water can go out as well. Okay. So that is about the ramp. Have some contours get really close to the southwest vegetation here. As long as they're 4 feet apart, then that's okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, see how that 114 is like right up next to the vegetation, but it's not quite touching it.
Yeah. Well, you have room here. You do have room here. If this is 4 feet apart, then you're okay to keep it. If you want it to look, you have built in more, just built in more protection for the trees, you can move it a little bit over and you have room here, so I'm not worried. Okay. All
Are
right.
there any like major problems that you think should take first priority?
I think this area is the major problem. That's the drainage. That's a drainage problem.
Okay.
A drainage problem, it's the category we'll look first. And usually if there's something going into your building or going into your wall, that's a big offense. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I would work on that area and then I would definitely work on the graphic quality a little bit more. And then basically checking, let's see, I see you have most of your spot elevation already. What's left? recalculate the ramp. That's one thing. Add another ramp. That's another thing. Add a couple more slope arrows as we talked about. And I think you're fairly close. I would really work on kind of presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Right. Is David here? David in the room? No. Let me see. Is Brianna here? Okay. How do we label swells when they intersect? You label up until you get into, yeah, you have it here. Good. 108.56 RDI, LP. And then you do need to remove this portion. Okay, remove that portion and then keep going. Once you get out of the retention, you would label this spot, and once you get down to the drop-off area, and then you have one more here. So remove that portion. You need a spot over here, okay, for the top of wall and bottom wall there. Let's see what's up there. Yeah, this looks okay. Once you get down to here, make sure you kind of clean up some of these lines, right? Proposed contours needs to be darker. Existing contour here can even be lighter. Okay, now you can see when I'm looking at this, the existing contours are a little bit distracting. So make the existing major and minor contour even lighter, and definitely increase the line hierarchy for the proposed. Okay, so that's the first question about how it intersects with the retention in the plaza. Divergence swell effective, not yet. Okay, divergence swell needs to be, you either make this one a little bit smaller. For this one, you're not receiving a lot of water from upstream, so it can be smaller. Okay, can you see? This is about how much water it's receiving. So this can be a bit smaller, and that would solve your divergence swell issue, right? Make it smaller. The key is to drag this up. Okay, so this is upstream from the edge of the bioretention for the same contour. Okay, so the water will go down here and then keep flowing down. Now, in your design previously, the water can go into your retention. All right, so that's why we cannot we need to drag this up a little bit more. So this is your ridge line. No, that's the, oh, you turned. Okay. One of the lines turned. So you have a swale that goes into, okay. All right. That works. Yeah, make sure you turn off this, the construction lines when you are calculating spots at the end. Okay. So does the berm on the retention on the south side of the plaza work? I think you're mentioning this one. Is that right? Okay, let's see. So this is we need to know the spot emission here. Okay, that might be 08. And your RDI is a bit low. That's okay. And LP. So you have a 7 contour here. Your 08 contour goes, my guess is your 08 contour actually needs to be above this. You're too flat in this area. So 109, if I am to draw the 108, it might be somewhere here. So go back and check the distance. Okay, go back and check the distance. I think your 08 might be here. All right. If that's the case, your 08 actually goes like this. Goes like that, and then it goes like this. Back to, let's see, probably like this. And then here, your HP actually will be a 7.5. And I can see that's probably why there is a little confusion of the HP, just because you would not have an HP between an 07 and an 08, right? Your HP needs to be between the two 07s. Does that make sense? Yeah, yeah, definitely double check where the 08 is in the first place. Okay. Okay, keep going. CC needs, yeah, also needs a TC label. That's correct. All right. Anything else you want to go through? Okay, good. All right. Is Vincent here?
Yep.
Okay. So do you need a road center line? You can, but you don't necessarily have to, right? You don't necessarily have to. Reason being, your road is not graded. So if you have a center line, that's more sort of like the parking painting to separate the two lanes. It's not a separation of grading, right? If your road is graded so that there's a ridge in the middle, then that center line makes more sense. So you don't need a center line here. Okay. Added one or You added one on the entry drive since it doesn't have the same slope. So, well, you basically, you just need to label the slope, and you would label in the direction, you would not label it along the center line. The maximum slope is actually along here. So you can label the slope basically this way, okay? And say just maximum 2%. Oh no, maximum 2.36, right? Okay. The trains are too bold. Yes, they feel like they are. Yeah, I don't think you need, well, you can put the hatch in, but the hatch can be very light, right? It's probably like what you have for the parking stall. And honestly, the parking stall can be grayed out. Doesn't have to be a solid black. So yes, it does appear a little too dark. Spot elevations. Okay, let's check the spots around your building. That looks reasonable. And here you have a 07.9. Okay. TS. Yeah. That works. And then 1099. No, 9.50. And then this is 24. There's some things that didn't add up. Is this, that one and that one. So this is higher, meaning that the grading here, it's not exactly like you indicated with this direction of slope. Okay, so double check if you want this to be a little bit higher, but 3%. Yeah, verify if this one is correct or that one is correct. Okay, based on the 3% slope there. I think that might be wrong. I think you might be calculating based off this one. Okay. So then you have trains all over. Good. So building corners, it's just these three. They look suspicious. Okay. The other ones. So there's a 98 contour code. And that's a retention area. It's good. Leader lines are a little too thick there. Anything else you want to ask? I think you're pretty close to being done here. Mm-hmm. Sure.
I'm missing some spot elevations on the front plaza entry drive.
Okay. So what I can see right here is these. So I'm trying to understand where your pavement kind of boundary is. This is too close. Okay, this is really hard to walk through. I would make this smaller. Make this smaller. Okay, so that though this is at least that distance. Does that make sense? You want people to walk through here. That's too close, right? Because this is a flare, right? That's a flare, and you cannot walk on it. Okay. So I'll make this smaller. And all these turning spots, like here, right? Here, you all need spots. That one you had it already. So for this one, your wall actually continues. And it's a little awkward in terms of how this ramp relates to the pavement over here. You might want to make all this actually green. Yeah, still it's a little too small. Let's see. Let me try to zoom in there. So we have this trying to get up. That's about 5 foot. Okay. Make this a little bit narrower because now it's 5 foot and you do not need 5 foot there. I would divide this in two. Okay, divide this in two so that this space here, you can do something about it. No, it can be paved or it can be green area, but if you only have like 2 feet in between, there's really gonna be very hard to maintain that space, whether or not it's grass or it's pavement. Okay. And this design, you actually continue the wall up until here because there's a slope there, and once you get down to this place, that's the plaza level. So there's elevation differences. So your wall is actually an L-shaped wall. Okay. Yeah. Let's take a quick look at other places. I think it is mainly where you have sidewalks, pavement turning like this one, right? I'm not sure what that is for. I think you might be indicating that the spot at this location instead, and these. So those are the main areas where things are missing. These are okay. Let's see, on this side. Well, wherever you start your sidewalk, you need spots. Okay. I wouldn't start the sidewalk like this. This is a very hard space to make, right? I would basically just do this. Okay. Perpendicular to your curve there. Okay. Anything else? These are okay. Well, if you turned, then you need 2. Okay. If I zoom in here, wherever you turned, that's 2 spots instead of 1. here, and here. All right. Okay. Not exactly sure why the line here is thick. I think you probably don't need that. All right. So that's about the plaza. Yeah, for instance, you would need although this is the same at that spot, I would add one and then I would add spots there too. Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay, cool. Winnie here? Okay. How should I redo the walls to meet the 4 feet height maximum? As I explained to Martina, you do not need to redo the walls to create different sections, okay? You just need to make sure you have B wall and T wall for both ends of the wall and make sure that the T wall does not exceed the 4 feet higher than the B wall, okay? So is this positive drainage? Yes, it is positive drainage.
Exercise 4, I had twice taken off because
Uh-huh.
it said there was a positive.
Let's see. Somewhere it's not positive drainage. Yeah, the size of the building works fine. Yeah, I think the size of the building worked fine. There's, okay, that's contour. You need a DI somewhere here at the bottom. Otherwise I don't see concerns over positive drainage. Let me take a look at the upper side here. That calculation is not done yet, so we don't know for sure. I think we're fine. Okay. We're missing a 1108 contour though. I don't see the 1108 contour wrapping around. Okay. So you have this and you have that. And that actually needs to come back to the wall here. Does that make sense? So we need a little bit of extra room on the ramp to make sure, well, TFFE is 9.0. This should be exactly 10 foot apart, okay? So your TFFE actually can be 8.5. Right? Because this is not too far away from your 08 contour. Right? So change the TFFE to 8.5. If bottom is BFFE, you have some room here. This is not going to be 1099. This will be 1098. Okay, 1098. Oh, in that case, you do need a little bit of longer ramp, right? You could have this shape and then pull the whole thing to the southwest direction. And then you do need to recalculate from the top here and from the bottom here and see if the middle actually match. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so that is about the positive drainage issue. And contours here were incorrect. Okay, let's take a look. So you have 13, you have 12, you have 11 coming down. You have, well, yes, this area, you just need to push it over for 4 feet. Okay, because your 14 is over here. So your 13, that's your 13. Right, that's your 13, and your 12 needs to be 4 feet apart from your 13. That's your 12. And then 11 needs to be 4 feet apart from. Does that make sense? So it's only like pushing it over for 4, right? And your divergence swell doesn't work yet. You need to drag this up. Okay? Drag this up. That's the only one you have. And once we get down to here, you have one here. So that's the only one you need, right? But it needs to be up. Okay, so that's the divergence swell. We talked about TFFE, BFFE, mark which spots are missing on plaza. So plaza-wise, you know, you need to look for the boundary of the plaza, right? And then the LPS here, you know, if your LPS, oh, okay. If that's your LPS, your retention needs to be here. Okay, so that is not right. Move that one over to the end of the swell there. These you know that. Extend the ridge line to the building, and that's where you need one more. Building corners, you need them. You need this one because it's intersecting with the ridge. And that's where your pavement starts, so you need one more there. If we move down and take a look at the bottom here, same idea, right? Same idea. You would need that one, this one, that one, right? Those are the plaza ones. All right. Okay. Anything else? I think I addressed all the green ones. Are all of the bioretention area labels? So you have a BC, you have a D. Well, I'm gonna check just for this one and see if that's 5.45, 4.85, that's okay, and 5. Well, for this one alone, you would have a 105 contour, right? You would have a 105 contour, so this is not 106. And this might be replicate. You might copied all of them over and didn't forget to change them. Now these contour numbers needs to be determined by the elevations, right? If you have LP under 5 and BC and DI above 5, there's a 5 contour here. Does that make sense? Yeah. And your 1106 here is a closed contour. And then the next contour for you here is a 5 contour. So your HP would be 5.5 between this one and your 5 contour. Does that make sense? Yes. So that is the main thing. I'm looking at the 6. Yeah, your 6. All right. I now see why this is a little different. Okay. You do not need an HP just because your H5 the outside contour is 06. And you only have a 5 contour here because you pushed your DI pretty low and your LP even lower. So this needs to be a 5 contour. And the 5 is tucked in between the curb, right? Between the curb and another 6. So in this case, you actually do not need an HP. Okay, these contour numbers needs to be determined by your water elevations. And for instance, here you would still have a 5 contour. Now, instead of 6 count, the 6 contour is sort of on the curb. Your curb cut is what, 5.95. RDI is 5.50, yeah. This is still a 5 contour. Okay, but that one is still a 5 contour. So make sure you check if, based on the grading of the individual retention, the contour number should be determined by the lowest elevation, which is the LP, and the highest water level, which is the RDI. All right. Okay, in terms of the location of retention, I see that you have one here. You had this, that's good. You had 2 more, 1 more here. We talked about this should be kind of at the end of the retention. So both of these, you don't need 2 of them, you just need 1 of them at the end here, okay? And then you have a retention over here, 1 more, 1 more, 1 more, 1 more. That's good. So you have all the retention, that's the location are correct, okay? All right. I wouldn't have time to check all the retention, but you can kind of see, the procedure of checking them. Okay. Calvin? Minimum vertical distance between RDI and LP. Minimum vertical. I would not make it, well, 1/2 foot, it's pretty low already. You want to make it worthwhile, right? You want to make it the digging and the grading worthwhile. So I wouldn't go below 0.5. Okay.
Like this.
So line hierarchy. Overall, it's still a little light. I would say the design needs to pop out of the existing contours a bit more, right? And so I would make the existing contours even lighter. Make the proposed contours bolder. The object lines so far work fine, but I would not, for instance, the ramp, I would not put it on gray, right? I would put it on black, just because this is a design element and it's also a pretty important element, right? I wouldn't put it kind of even small, kind of lighter than the existing contours. Can you see that? Yeah. Let's take a look at the ramp here. So you have an 07, 06 here, and then 05, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. It's 99. Let's look at the bottom here. 8.50, 98.5. And okay, you have a little bit of wall, 1 foot wall here. Okay. And then going down here, we have a bottom ramp of 98.7.88. So 98 is over here. Well, add a drain at this location. Okay. And well, in your case, okay, so that drain is actually somewhere here. Somewhere here. Okay, add a drain somewhere here. I know there's a little bit of over here, that's okay. That little water, we can live with it. Okay, so that's that. Oh, sorry. The ramp works. Ramp works. So I wouldn't put the first line of the stairs right flush with the building. Okay, I would move the stairs down a little bit because you need to fit 1 foot, before you step on it, right? You will trip on this one if you don't have that space there. Same thing at the bottom, all right? Okay. I would not have this whole thing as a 3.7 max. The reason if you want to have a little bit of ramp kind of, in between, you need to at least have a 2% landing first. So the middle can be 3.7, but you have to have a landing. Once folks get down to the stairs, they would not be accustomed to have another slope right after it, right? You need a 2% and then you can start a ramp. And honestly, I don't think you need to. I think you can have this as 2% and just by adding one more step, you might be able to, do that, okay? Yeah, same thing on the side. Okay. For some of the ramps, I think you have too much of a cross slope. Here, for instance, I can see it's almost like the same cross slope, a 4% cross slope. So I would make it 2, okay? I would make it 2% cross slope like this. Double check all these and see. Same thing here, right? If you have a 4 and 6 and 4, you might as well just make it more uniform, all right? If by making it longer, you can have a 4% all the way, that would be even better. If you cannot do 4%, if you can do 5%, it's just like when you are walking on a ramp, you would expect, no, I would follow a uniform unless there is a portion that is flatter, not a portion that is more steep. Okay. Okay. So that is that. Look at this thing. Well, I would double check if this slope here, that does look like it's very steep. It's on the roadway. On the roadway, you cannot do 25%. The roadway, and also that's close to sort of the entrance of like an intersection. You want to make it under 13, 14, right? 13, 14 would be the maximum. And you have a lot of room here, right? The 1102, it's very far away from your 1111. And your swell does not need to start that early, okay? You can definitely start your swell even just by the 9, right? Maybe 10, but definitely you don't need the 11 to be part of the swell, right? Let's take a look. Building a wall is pretty expensive. I can see why you feel like you need a wall here. You might need a segment, but I probably would look at the distance here first. If I'm all the way kind of under 4, if I don't have to have 1110 attached to a wall, I probably would do that, right? Because when you have a wall, you can also take a look at on the other side of the wall here. Water is still going to drain to the wall there, right? You need some kind of treatment on the other side of the wall. So even if you don't have an integer contour hitting that wall, you can think about what the 0.1 contour will look like on the wall. So it might not be that worth it to have this wall here. Okay. Yeah, I would recommend working on this portion definitely working on this portion. That's sort of a weak spot at this point. All right, and this portion. Okay. And anything else? We're good. Good. Yeah. We're also pretty close. Emma, I know you're online. You unmute or type so that I know you're there. Ask to unmute.
Hi there.
Hey, Emma, are you there? Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay, we'll start here. How to grade the bioretention in the lower plaza. So, So first, I feel like your lower plaza, this retention is receiving roof water, right? If that's the case, you just would want to have, indicative lines saying receiving roof water from trench drain or scupper, right? Just labeling would be fine. But at the same time, you also have the plaza water. So this can be for both of the roof and the upper portion of the plaza, right? But you also have the lower portion of the plaza. Honestly, is all the way. This whole thing, right? This whole thing would be going to somewhere here. This is basically a retention that will sheet flow, right? A sheet flow over. And you calculate the spots along this line, and that is your water entering elevation. And based on that, you do your RDI, right? And then you make it 1 foot or 0.5 foot lower. That's your LP. And then you determine what contour is in this retention, right? And then you have a high point between the retention and the outside contour. Does that make sense? So that's
Yes,
how you
that makes
grade
sense.
the retention, kind of receiving water from the edge of the lower plaza. Okay? And for this portion, for the middle one, you're basically, if this one is also treating some of the plaza water, you basically calculate this elevation. Okay? Calculate this elevation. You have 96.66. That works. That works. You would have two contour lines, right? A 96 and a 95. If you design this to be a sort of double wall system, basically cross section would look like this, right? If that's the cross section, basically your 96 and 95 contour will be the same, just be wrapping around the wall here. Okay, both of the 96 contour and the 95 contour will just be, along the wall. And that's totally fine, right? You can say, right, you basically you don't have to label those contours in this case, but you need to have the T wall. Basically, you have the T wall and B wall elevation for the whole wall here. Okay, for the whole planter. This is a planter there. All right. That's how you work the medium planter out.
Would
Okay,
the
so
spot
that's
elevations,
that one question.
would
Checklist one of
the
my
spot
near my
elevations, like the
divergence. Well,
RDI,
sure. So let's check this one. We have a curb cut of 1106.02. Honestly, I think this one is a little too low, right? Based on the distance, I think this is 83 or something, okay? So 0.6.025 LP5. So this is the 05 contour, and you actually have two contours, right? Here you have an 05 because your LP is 05, okay? And curb cut is 6.02, so that's why you have another 06, okay? 06 in the landscape. And then you would have an HP 06.50. All right, so that is how this retention should be. You're just missing a 1105 contour. All right. Leader line is too thick. Oh, that leader line is too thick. Okay, I will zoom out to see the questions there. And you review how to figure out which contour is running on the inside of the bioretention system. I tried to, for the last one, right? if you have a 04.5 as your LP and your RDI is 105, then you have a 105 contour. So whenever you get confused, you do a cross section, right? So if this is 4.5 and your RDI is 5, then you will see, okay, that's my 5 contour right there. Okay. And then I don't have a 4 contour. I only have a 5 contour there. And then I look at the surrounding contour. I have a 6, is that a 6 contour? Well, try to add more contour labels. This is 06. I think this is 6. This is a 6 contour. So surrounding contours are at 6 level. And I have a 5 contour. And then I do not need HP between my 5 and 6, right? I need HP between my 5 and 5. And so this is correct, right? All these, so this one you have all the necessary elements and the contour number is correct. Okay. All right. That is that. Let's see. Okay, let's check the location of the retention area. I would add one more here. Just because I have space. You know, I have space and this is how much I'm treating. And so that's a lot. That's a lot. So I think it's worth adding one more there. That's correct. This is good. That's those good. That's good. 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 Yeah, this is good. That's good. Let me move down. Okay. This one. We need something over in this area, right? Have we talked about cutting into the plaza and having something in here? But we definitely need one there.
So I need a
But
second
I
one
can
that
see
cuts
it's
into
kind
the
of
plaza?
conflicting with your, well, it's not necessarily conflicting. You just need a trench drain to go over it, to go over the sidewalk, the plaza, and then direct the water over. Let me finish checking the so you have all these. Some of them needs to be, you know, that needs to go up a little bit. Okay, that needs to go up a little bit. Okay, so that's the divergence swell there. You have enough over here, enough over there, enough over here. It's only this one. Can you see that my contours here? You know, all these water, let's see. That goes in, that's kind of treating everything from this point to well, that much. Okay, once we get down to the curb here, it's flowing down. Flowing down here, I would actually have something over here that will help me treat up until here. Okay, and then this whole thing needs to get into, well, there's a lowest point over here. So if we don't have anything, everything will pond at this location. So my third one needs to cover this much. And water, let's see, there is also a pretty low point somewhere here. Yeah, there's another low point over here. And for this one, I probably would just do a DI. Yeah. Because, well, if you want to, you can cut another hole. But it's not a lot of water going in. So Emma, I think the critical thing is actually treating, you know, I have to deal with these low points. Does that make sense? We have to deal with those low points.
Yes, that makes sense.
If we don't deal with it, I am trying to see if this one will actually keep flowing down. Let me zoom in later on to see if this one can keep flowing down this side so we can treat it over here. But that one wouldn't. Okay, that one would not. It would pond over there. So definitely we need something here. Okay, cutting through, having a trench ring over here. And that is for all this water. For all this water that will go into that area, okay? And well, honestly, this all goes down there too. Is this little portion that doesn't really flow to that side. Okay. So that's the drainage area for the little kind of opening in the plaza. All right. Let me zoom in to see this area. Okay, so your contours go that way. And this is exactly the same, kind of more or less the same. It flows down a little bit. And then there's a point here. This would actually keep flowing down. Okay, this will keep flowing down. So this one is okay. That will keep flowing down to the end point on the other side. Okay, so you just need to add this one. Add that one, okay? All right. So that is this. That's all the questions you listed. Anything else? Overall, one quick comment about the line hierarchy. It's pretty uniform, right? It's pretty uniform, and I would differentiate them a bit more. I would definitely increase the hierarchy of the proposed contours. And you have a lot of elevations, spot elevations, which are great because you probably calculated all of them already. I would try to see if there's any chance, especially around the retention areas, to combine some of them. Like if I don't need two LPs, I would use a leader line to say these two are LP, right? It's getting a little hard to read around these areas. Okay.
Could you draw
Anything
in
else?
what one of those leader lines would look like where you said if there's like two LPs, you combine
you
them
can
into
type.
one label?
Emma, is there anything else you want to ask? Oh, a leader line. Okay, sure. So for these two, the LPs, I would do a line in between, right? And then I would put the LP in the middle of the line. Something like this. Okay? That's how we connect these two. All right, great. Thank you. Okay, I'll move forward. Madison? Is Madison here? Okay. would this retention area connect to the plaza? So we probably talked about a trench drain for that retention to connect the plaza. Otherwise, it's not receiving much water. So I'm trying to figure out, this is the ridge line, this is going down, that is going down. And for this to work, you would need a trench drain here. Okay. And that helps to treat this much water from the plaza. Okay. If you want to treat more, you can extend the trench drain along the car drop-off curb. Then it will be able to receive more. This much more. Sorry, I crossed the ridge line. But this is the formal one should go like this. That's how much water we're treating by putting a trench drain there. So yes, that needs to be connected to the plaza. Next one, do I need more spots for the retention area? For the retention area, you have the RDI. Let's see. We need to calculate what this is. I believe we have went through the TFFE. The TFFE can work as 1110, 1100, and then here we need to calculate what this is. And then we will be able to know what the RDI is, okay? The RDI is not determined by the existing contours here. The RDI needs to be determined by here. It actually should be pretty high here. Okay, so your building is really high, and so the first step to figure out what this retention should look like is I have this elevation that needs to be 1100, right? Or around it. And then based on that, I calculate based on the slope what this is, right? My guess is it's probably at 98.5. If that's the case, your RDI would be, for instance, 98, okay? And then the HP would be 97. Oh, no, sorry, LP. LP would be 97. Then you have 97 and 98 contour. And the contour that's outside here should be 97, okay? So there's a lot of work remain to be done on the back here to make sure that these elevations match. We probably talked about the ramp, you know, because this elevation is high, you are actually at a 98.5 here, but you're already at, oh, okay, so this is about 90, let's see. Again, add more contour labels, right? Add more contour labels. So if this is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I think we're probably missing another contour because this is, let's suppose this is 98.5. You need another 99 contour. Okay. And yeah, one more contour and also side slope for the ramp contours. And then you can see, okay, my 0 contour is over here, but I am at 95 over here in my existing contours. So you have, you know, if we want to return to 90, there are 8 contours in between that I need to fit in. That's a lot of contours. You might need to keep pushing it to these contours so that, especially when you have a retention here, right? You have a retention here, you need space for the retention, and then those look like probably not 8 contours in between. All right, and these contours needs to be keep pushing as well. You likely need a wall here so that these contours can hit the wall, and then the original contours under like 90, no, 98 or all the way through 90, they can, part of them can hit the wall and then the rest of them can go around, depending on how much space you have here. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's the bottom. The bottom here needs quite a bit of work, okay? All right, so that is that one. Oh, okay. How the contours will hit the wall properly. You need to extend the wall, okay? Need to extend the wall. I don't know if you have enough space for the stairs here. How wide is the stairs here? Okay. I would make it 6 foot, right? So it kind of matches the scale because it's going down 10 foot, right? It's going down 10 foot in elevation. So let's make it at least 6 foot wide. And then you're right, and the wall needs to be extended. Okay, wall's been extended to hit for these contours, hit the wall. Okay, that's how the wall needs to be revised there. Yeah, you did realize you're out of space, so we went through with some students. You probably need a wall here. Okay, but work on the retention at the same time so that you know how much space you need at the bottom here to return to grade, and then work on the connection in this space. All right. Okay, anything else? Okay. I see there are some gaps, in contours in this area, and these contours needs to be connected. All right, so those are some remaining work to do. And then on this side, contour seems to be okay in terms of connection. Yeah, you cannot, the contours cannot connect to the edge of the road, all right? It needs to connect back to existing contours. Okay. All right. Is Janice here? Okay. I know we went through some of the questions already. Let me go through, see if there's anything else. Let's pick a retention to review. Which one? Maybe this one, okay? This one, you have a 107, curb cut at 60, okay? And then, so for here, you could say BC/DI. You do not need 2 of them. And LP seems to be, okay, you're only 0.6 below, that's all right. You have an 06 contour then, and then a 07 contour because your LP is 06. HP works between 2 sevens, that's good. Yeah, so that one is correct. Let's pick another one here. So you have a car turnaround. We calculate the BC to be 4.2, makes sense. It does look like all your spots needs to be calculated to the second digit, right? Yeah. 0.20. So another thing is your BC and TC, their difference is not 0.6, it's 0.5, right? So TC is actually 0.7 here. And top of transition is 0.20, that's correct. And we do the 2.5% along the swell line. I don't think your bottom of the transition would be 4.1. It will be much lower, All right, so let's draw it out. We have the curb. We have the parking lot here, right? We have the sidewalk over here. And then the trench drain is over here. So now you have this as 4.2. You need to measure the distance here and then do your, whatever the slope is, if it's 2.5%. Let's suppose it's 10 feet, okay? Then you're going down 0.25. So the top of the trench drain and at this location is 3.95. Okay, and then you need to minus 0.5. So this would be 1103.45. Does that make sense? So that's the bottom of the trench drain. And then your RDI will be lower, right? RDI will be 1103, and your LP would be 1102.5. So for this one, you would have a 1103 contour. Yeah, this is pretty low, so you wouldn't need a HP just because, you know, you dig it pretty deep because of that trench drain. All right, so that's the second one. Okay. And how should the runoff from the roof to retention look like? This works. Did you mention? Well, you just need to mention, right? You need to mention this is receiving roof water. All right. And everything is down here, right? Okay, that works. And I would say this is top of the trench elevation, I think. You need to push it down by 0.5. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. Let's take a look at that. We talked about the FFE. The FFE works. Contours in the ramp.
So it's like right where like the 8 spots are.
Sure,
That's
here.
the second ramp, but there's like a one weight that runs straight. I didn't know.
Okay. So you have an 8 contour here, right? And then you have another 8 contour over here. Oh, you don't need to change anything.
So it's okay that it just runs right along the side of it.
Yeah, that's fine because basically the sidewalk is part of the plaza, right? Yeah, you don't need to change anything.
Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe this portion is on the ramp portion, but it's not, so you don't need to change it.
Okay.
Mm. Contour numbers. Yeah, we talked about that too. Top of bus turnaround.
Yes.
Curb on the top of bus turnaround, 1107.
It's like there's a dome around the 107, like right above, yeah, like right where your house is. I didn't know if I needed a curb cut right in that.
No, it's not
area.
receiving any water.
Okay.
Yeah, can you see, water is all draining away from your curb? Yeah, so that is not receiving anything.
Okay, I just sure because that whole area.
Yeah, it's a big, yeah, it's a big area. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're fine. You have a lot of space already, so I don't think you need to use this.
Okay.
All right, that's all that's listed. Anything else?
Do you think you could just show what those back two contours on the lower plaza? would look
Here?
like? Yeah.
Okay.
around this-
If your top of the trench drain is 6.8, your bottom would be 1096.30. So your RDI would be 96 and your LP would be 90. If you want to make it big, then we'll have a 95, right?
Mhm.
So you would have a 5 contour here and a 6 contour, right? So, if that's the case, let's see, I actually need to move it a little bit so that we can take a look at the other portion. So here you're at a 6.90. We are at 7 contour here, and did we mention this is not correct? Yeah, the B wall is not correct. B wall is not correct. 96 contours over here. Then your 96 contour will change direction and go around like this. So the 6 contour is somewhere like here, right? And your 5 contour is down. Is this the 5 contour?
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, I won't do that. If your 6 contour is actually pretty far away from here, it's actually doing this, right? And then you would have high point in between. Your 7 contour needs to be on the plaza somewhere here. Okay, you do have a 7 contour here, and try not to forget them. And honestly, I think your 7 contour can go directly like this. You don't need a portion of the wall there. Does that make sense? Yeah, your wall can stop between the 7 and the 8. And then this is the 6. Yeah, this works. That's your 6. And then you have another 5 in between. That's it. Your 5 would just be over there. Make sure you measure this as well. You don't want to make it lower than 2%. If that's the case, you just basically change to closer, right? Make it closer in this area so it doesn't drop below 2%. Okay, cool. All right, and that's it. Awesome. Pega, oh, sorry, clicked on the wrong one. So check ramp and stairs. Okay, let's check the ramp and the stairs first. Ooh, it's getting hard to read, huh? Yeah, Pega, one thing that I do encourage you to do is to align the spot elevation parallel to the bottom of the page. So there are not all kinds of different directions. Yeah, they maintain the same direction. It will be a lot easier to navigate that way. So the okay, ramp here. Just tiny little thing. I would connect, because you have a curb. This line needs to connect over here. You do not, oh, that's a leader line. And yeah, that one is connecting there. So top of bottom of the ramp, it's decided by, that's correct. And the top of the ramp, it's decided by that's correct. Well, for this one, you would not have a BC anymore, right? For this spot, you only have a top of the ramp. There's no TC anymore because there's no curb. Yeah, the top of the ramp, it's just a spot on the plaza. Yeah, there's no other types of spots there. And then here you have, there's a top of a ramp elevation as well. And that is only, well, so you don't have TCBC. Yeah, it's the TR, and the TR is determined by this contour there. Yeah. Okay, so that is that one. Okay. Yeah. That's right. Okay. And this one, try to figure it out. We're going down, and then So for this, I would recommend that you keep going. And then that's the flat area. And that is how you connect to other places. I am going, let's see. So this is the ADA. This is the floating area. Do I even need this portion? Let's see. Okay, this one goes down here. Okay, that can stay. Yeah, it's just this portion. I don't think you need this in the middle, right? Because people are walking, basically, I am walking, kind of keep flowing down, keep flowing to this area. I would come down here and then I go down, right? You know, if this is a ramp, I wouldn't need this portion. It's not useful, right? And then I come down to a relatively flat landing area in the middle. This is a flat landing area in the middle. Oh, actually, this is not correct either. Because how can I connect? This will be the flat landing, but this is not. This needs to be a ramp as well to connect to the plaza over here. Does that make sense? So it's like you actually have three-way ramp there. So that needs to be a ramp as well. This goes down. Ah, that's too thick. That's fine. No, that's fine. So that goes down, this goes down, and that goes down. And that also means I'm trying to see how this is connected. Did we talk about not needing this line? Yeah, I don't think. Unless you have a different material, otherwise you wouldn't need, because this is the same level, right? This is the part of the plaza. I'm still thinking about this area. Yeah, I am thinking about this area. If I go down, starting from here, that's my ramp. Then, okay, this works. So basically you have walls over here, walls over here, walls over here, and walls over here. Does that make sense? And this doesn't, only this portion. Only the two L's needs wall, because those are bounding the ramps.
And the flat area,
This is the flat area.
all the components should we have the same elevation?
No, this elevation will be determined by that. So that is higher than this, right? And then you do 2% from this to that, 2% from this to that. So it flows out, okay? And then this is determined by the top, right? And that is determined by the top plaza level. Those are determined by the plaza. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a unique design there. Okay, so that is the second ramp. Third ramp is the same thing. You will have a curb. So here, there is a double line here, right? And there's a double line there. Yeah, it's just that the curb is a slope. Okay, I think you have the same issue on this side. It's basically top of ramp, okay? Top of ramp 2, and then bottom ramp / bottom of the curb. Yeah, that's correct. Those are correct. Yeah, that's correct as well. Okay. So those are the 3 ramps. Yeah, let's take a look at the stairs. Yeah, we talked about the stairs thing. I wouldn't recommend doing a 3% here. I would just do a 2 because it's so easy to adjust on the stairs, the risers themselves, right? Make the landing just a 2% here. Yeah, make the landing a 2%, minimum 2%, right? Well, it's a slightly swapped. Yes, the minimum 2% would be good. Okay. Okay. So your be rounded. Where is, oh, here? It's fine. Yeah, that will be fine. Is it okay? The last part of the plaza ramp at 2%. That's okay too. Yeah, that is all right. When you get down to the bottom, you want it to be flatter, right? The DI of the ramp of the plaza look okay. Do you mean here? Yeah. In your case, so it's actually draining. It's not draining. Yeah, that's okay. The DI being there, that location is good. Retention. Location wise, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. That one, 2. This one is also there. This is good. That one is all right. That one. You have a trench drain going down all the way down in here. So basically that take care of the whole thing upstream. One more there, one more here. Okay. I don't think you need more. You can have one more here because this water will go down in there, right? I think it's probably worth doing one more here. Otherwise, I don't think. Is there a particular one you want me to pick and this one? Okay, let's do it. So you have a 6 contour over here, 5.96. And then you do need, there's not a trench drain over. I'm more concerned about this location where you need to cut through the sidewalk. So this looks like it's not low enough. Does that make sense? You didn't account for the trench drain height. There's a sidewalk over here. You need to cut through the sidewalk. Yeah. Yeah, otherwise it doesn't go through. You need a trench drain and an RDI, right? Yeah, RDI is necessary. And this one is actually not at the right location. The location should be, you find the lowest point. Lowest point is where? Here. Yeah, put the move it here, and then you have to have a trench drain that goes across the sidewalk. And so you need to push everything down by 0.5.
Is it okay that there is only one contour? I don't have the all 5 contours inside in the retention.
This one will be pretty deep, right? It will be pretty low. So you only have you probably have an 0.5 contour. Yeah, that's likely so. So if you have only a 5 contour, you wouldn't have the HPs. Yeah. Right. So let's take a look at this one. You know, these two are designed differently. If this needs to go through a trench drain, then you need to determine the elevation here by the bottom of the trench drain over here. Yeah. So I honestly wouldn't. I basically would just use that as an entrance. I wouldn't open this up.
I also can retentions to the child line.
So basically you can do the same, you know, you open it up here and use an RDI instead of a DI. Yeah, so you don't need 2 curb cuts. Does that make sense? Yeah, you can too. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. So then this will just be using the DI elevation here, 0.50, or 596, right? So I think this is a little deep. This is over 1 foot deep. So we might want to raise the LP. Yeah, raise the LP. So that would be 4.96. You have a 5 contour, that's correct. And then, yeah, you have 6 contour, that's correct. So that's all, everything else is correct. LP needs to be moved up a little bit. Sounds good. Double check wherever you have trench drains, and those are likely somewhere the places.
Trench drain.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that's all you listed. Yeah, it's like when you have a trench drain over here, you need to think about the bottom of the trench drain, right? So I think this is again too high. The bottom of the trench drain would be, so the top of the trench drain is actually 1107.07. Not even. Let's see. Oh, my bad. You actually accounted for that already here. My bad. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Anything else? We're good. Okay. Is Nicholas here?
Yes.
Okay. So, um, (1109) contour, and then this is the 0999. Then bottom of the ramp, you calculated based on the 2%, so that's good. So I wouldn't necessarily say right now it's wrong, but let's check. What's the contour number here? So this is the 8 contour. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 99, 98. That's where it's not wrong. It's just you don't need as many contours, right? You're at about 98.19 here. So your next contour here should be 99. So you have more contours than necessary, right? So so this would be 0, and that'd be 1, and then 2. You might want to basically just make it flatter. Maybe we do 4% slope instead of 5%, because you can see your 2 is here and then your 2 is kind of here, right? So if you make it spaced kind of more, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 99. Basically space them out a little bit more, then your ramp would work.
Okay.
Okay. Key thing is to check these, and these elevations look reasonable to me. Yeah, these top of ramp and bottom ramp, they look reasonable to me, based on the slope here and the contour being somewhere here, the 98 contour being here. Okay. So that is about the ramp. T wall and B wall. Well, the first thing you need to make sure is that the contours are correct on the bottom, right? So if your 98 contour, this is the 99. If your 98 contour is somewhere here, then your, I need to zoom out again. 98, if 98 is somewhere here, your 97 needs to be, this is 505. Okay, all these needs to be pushed down, right? So these likely will need to be tightened up if this is 95. And this contour is 98. Can you see that I probably need to, push all these down so that I may be able to connect back to these contours, 90, 90, 91, 3 something. You also have a bit of a problem of, we need retention as well here. So, let's probably offset this by make this about 6 feet wide. And then I know there is another 97. Okay, so my 97 is it's about 95 at about the location of the original 95. 7, okay? And then this is my 0. So my next task is try to fit the 6 contour in between my 0 and 7. Does that make sense? So I'm supposing that I can get back to grade at 0 level. So I'll need to test if I can fit in 6 contours in between. Yeah. And then I will worry about how to connect these. There's also 6 in between here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Some of these you might need a little bit of wall here. Yeah, especially these ones, 1 and 2, they might need to hit the wall, but it seems like these ones are okay. We're not limited in space in this area based on your shape of the ramp, but we probably cannot have these contour wrap around like this. It's better for that to hit the wall somewhere there. Okay.
It's the wall.
It goes along the wall and then wrap around the wall and then go here.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's how it does. So basically hit the wall, go around the wall, and then come out the wall like this. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's the kind of the procedure of working on the bottom plaza. And once you have these, you know how to do the wall, right? So for instance, if this is the 97 and my 97 is hitting the wall over here, and up until my 96 can actually go around like this. Well, you have choice of having the wall continue. So 96 goes like this, 5, and we'll need to see which one is the one that is able to connect all the way through here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it's the 4. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then the wall is between 95 and 94. Then the bottom of the wall will be 4.5. That's how you do the walls. Until you know the contours. Otherwise, you won't be able to figure out the walls. All right, so work on the contours first. All right, so those are the 2 major questions there. Anything else? So let me point out something that I saw just now. Your wrong direction. Okay, so that is the relationship between those 2. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I know, I think that I was gonna actually ask about that.
Okay.
That was the correct way before I put all the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. Sounds good. Is Graham here?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me turn it. So we'll look at the 105 and 106 contour here. So 105, 106. It looks like Well, we still need to have these contours come out, right? I have some. I think these contours are not same, not the same spacing. So double check if the spacing gets smaller. So you might have something like this. And that one is actually somewhere here. Okay. If that's the case, your 6 goes like this. And then probably hit the building. If that's the case, I would turn this a little bit more. And then that one, this one is a closed contour, or well, depending on the offset, it might go like this. And that goes out to 105 over here. That's your 05 there, okay? If that's the case, we need to close the 5 here. So you would have a closed 5, a 5 that is in the turnaround, and this is your 6. 6 goes to this contour, and 5, no, that's 7. 7 goes to that, okay? So the spacing gets a little bit smaller here, so I make sure you offset by the same, okay, by the same distance. And the slope arrow actually needs to be perpendicular to your contour. So that's your 06 and 05. Okay. And I am a little confused in here, that's your swell line. Because the spacing here is a little questionable, you might end up with, once you correct the spacing over here, if your ridgeline kept being that way, you might end up being like this. Okay, so that might be your center line. Okay, and that might be the 105. Does that make sense? So this line has to be extended to the ridge line here, okay? And then your 06 is likely gonna be looking like this on the other side, and your swell line is like that. Okay? Yeah, the general direction of them are correct, but the spacing needs to be refined. So that is about the 6 and 5 contour. Contours dropped correctly. So the thing that I saw that are still not exact is this should be in the middle, okay? That should be in the middle where you drop your contours. Does that make sense? So that spot is not in the middle between these and that contour. It needs to be in the middle. Okay? 9. Yeah, I think that's a correct. Let's see. Did I go? Oh, I'm sorry. I went backwards. It should be like this. My bad. But they should be in the middle. That one doesn't change. Okay. So that connection is like this. And that one needs to go out. So basically, if you extend this over here and then go parallel to that, that's your next contour here. I'm gonna erase that one. So we are missing a couple contours over here. Does that answer your question? Okay. Other things you want me to go through? Okay, sounds good. Alrighty, I will stay until the end of the class in case anybody else have questions, all right?